Welcome, everyone. We'll give folks a couple more minutes before we get started. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being prompt on time. Welcome, everyone. Give folks about one more minute before we get started. All right, welcome everyone to this evening's Portside Community Steering Committee meeting. Thank you all for joining us virtually on this beautiful, I suppose, winter evening. Feels pretty warm out there for winter, but I hope you all are enjoying this lovely weather. Thanks for joining us today. We have an agenda filled with opportunities for us to collaborate with one another. But before we get started, I'd like to turn it over to Jasmine, our interpreter, who will be walking us through how to get set up with interpretation this evening. Jasmine?
Okay, so here on the screen, you will see the tablet form, computer, or smartphone if you have that. You will see for a tablet, you will see the icon. There's 3 dots with, um, it's titled More. So if you click on that, you'll be able to pick your language interpretation option, and then you will be able to choose your language. Para aquellas personas que tienen una tableta, pueden ir a la sección donde están los 3 puntitos en la esquina de abajo de la parte derecha de su pantalla. Después de allí va a seleccionar interpretación del lenguaje, a lo cual luego le irá al último paso donde va a escoger la opción del lenguaje que usted prefiere, en este caso está inglés o en español, y luego finalizar. Asegúrese de poner finalizar para que active la interpretación. Now, if you are on a computer, you will be able to see a globe labeled interpretation. If you click on that, you will see the options for the languages that are being interpreted. You will see English or Spanish, and you can choose the language you'd like to listen in on. Si usted tiene una computadora, podrá ver un globo con lo que se llama interpretación. Usted escogerá luego el idioma preferido para escuchar. En este caso tenemos inglés y español. Escoja su preferido y podrá escuchar la reunión en ese idioma. If you are on your phone, on a smartphone, it's similar to the iPad. You will see the three dots labeled More. Then you will find your language interpretation, and you will choose your language. And then you will click on Done in order to activate the interpretation. Sorry. Si usted tiene un teléfono inteligente, escogerá los tres puntitos en la parte de abajo donde dice más, escogerá interpretación de lenguaje, luego escogerá su idioma y de nuevo, similar a la tableta, escogerá finalizar para poder activar la interpretación. Muy bien.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. I'm going to go ahead and put you in the interpretation room. Just give me one moment as I move you to that room. 1 second. All right, Jasmine, you should be moved over to that room. All right, and just let me know in the chat box if you have any trouble getting over. So I'll just assume you're in that room. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Let me go ahead and reshare my screen. Before we do roll call, I want to remind folks of our meeting agreements. First is creating space for everyone, which means, if you haven't really had an opportunity to talk, please do step up. We encourage you to. If you feel like you've been taking a lot of space, take some time to step back. Making sure that only one person speaks at a time. Listen to each other, respect each other's opinions, knowledge, and perspective. Let's be conscious of time, right? The time here together typically goes pretty quickly. And our interpreters would really appreciate it if everyone can speak slowly and clearly so that they are able to interpret as accurately as possible. Before we review the draft agenda for today, I am going to turn it actually over to Lauren, who will be doing roll call this evening. Lauren?
Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to call out names, and if you can just let me know if you are present or not. So Keith Corey.
Here.
Thank you. Shelby Busso. I saw. No. And if for some reason folks do join later or we miss them, feel free to interrupt me or throw it in the chat as well. Jack Monger.
Good evening, I'm present.
Thank you. Massey Hatch.
Hello, I'm here.
Thank you. Sarah Giboldi, I'm sorry. I think I massacred that.
No problem. It's Giobi. I'm here. Thank you.
Giobi. Okay, thank you. Lydia Pellicer. Leslie Nishihira. Phil Gibbons.
I'm here.
Thank you. Carrie Robinson.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Mariela Rodriguez. Okay. Nick Powell.
I'm here.
Yeah, thank you. Martin Reeder. David Welch. David. Roman. Sophia. Mm, okay. Stephanie Yoon. Stephanie. Jose Marquez. I see you. Thank you. Brent Burge. Brent. Nick Grady.
I'm here.
Thank you. Sergio Hernandez. Sergio. Okay, Jonathan isn't here, but Liliana, I see you on there.
I'm here.
Thank you. Janice. Janice. Absent. Jackie Reynoso Marquez. No, Jackie. John Alvarado. John. Okay.
Lauren, John passed away. I don't know if you all knew that.
Oh no.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
I did not know that. I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you
Yeah.
for letting us
Mhm.
know.
Sure.
Oh, that's very sad to hear. Do you know how long ago that was? Sorry to take a moment, but
No problem. I don't know exactly when it occurred. I just learned of it about 3 weeks ago.
oh, okay. Oh gosh, I wonder if there was a service or anything. Okay, thank you. Yeah, if
Again,
anybody.
Sure.
Hi, this is Phil Gibbons, real quick. Yeah, I
Hi, Phil.
believe unfortunately John passed away earlier this month, like Jack said, on February 9th, I believe. And I think there will be a service in early March. I'll look it up and make an
Okay.
announcement after you finish the roll call.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thanks, Phil.
Thanks. Alicia Sanchez.
Presente.
And Alicia, I will help you with a link when we're done. Or hopefully it'll
Gracias,
might come
gracias.
through
No
in the
puedo
chat.
encontrar el link, pero aquí estoy. Mi compañera Montserrat me lo pasó.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Montserrat.
Thank you. Margarita Moreno. I see
I'm
you,
here.
Margarita. Thank you. Vanessa Contreras. Is Vanessa on? No. Salvador.
Present.
Sal. Thank you. Montserrat. I think I see.
Presente.
Thank you. Sylvia.
Present.
Thank you. Ashley.
Present.
Thank you, Ashley. Josephine.
Present.
Thank you. Maritza.
Present.
And David Ramos.
Here.
Thank you. Alrighty. I can share my the attendance just for the record if anybody would like to see. 19 present, 16 absent, and quorum has been reached. So.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Just want to take a moment. Thank you, Jack and Phil, for letting us know about John's passing. I think what we all can say is that whether you always agreed with John or never agreed with John or sometimes agreed with John, we all saw that he was a person who deeply loved his community.
Yeah, this is Phil. I'm gonna really miss John. I didn't know him that long. I just met him, by being on the steering committee. And so it's only been a few years for me, but what a passionate soul though, right? I mean, he always had great things to say and a lot of passion for his community and for the work that he did, and I'm gonna really miss him.
Just so you know, the legislature will close in his name this week.
Oh, that's excellent.
Jack, I see you off mute. Did you have some words to share?
No, I just to follow on with what Phil said, I only came to know John because of our participation with this committee and chatted with him a number of times. There was no shortage of passion that he had for his community, and very proud of what he had accomplished through his lifetime and the organizations he had worked in and the jobs he had held and the experience he had gained in a wide variety of areas. And I think it was helpful to have that perspective on this committee. Certainly, I'm sure the community is going to miss him, and I know a lot of young people and families that he has helped provide opportunities for, sponsorship for over the holidays. We'll miss him greatly as well.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Jack. Monse. Monse.
Sí, solamente quiero expresar, sí, que nos tomó de sorpresa la noticia, no lo sabíamos y bueno, él era parte de esta comunidad y es verdad, no siempre estábamos de acuerdo con los puntos de vista, pero pues siempre él tenía su punto de vista y lo defendía desde su perspectiva y bueno, lo sentimos mucho de parte de las compañeras de National City, de EHC y pues que en paz descanse.
Thank you for sharing, Monse. Just want to hold space and see if there's anyone else who'd like to share a few words. Right. Thanks, David, and Phil for sharing the information in the chat box. We'll certainly make sure to honor his life at their district. Okay. We have a spacious agenda tonight. We are going to actually get to watch a video that Amaya and her team at CARB, the California Air Resources Board, had an opportunity to work with many of you in sharing the story of the Portside Community Steering Committee, the challenges that the community's been facing, but also the great progress that has been made as well. So we'll have an opportunity to see that short film. It's about 7 minutes. And Amaya will be able to hear back from you all, feedback on that film as well, and share more about how CARB intends to use that film, but also hear from you all how you'd like to use that short film as well in your work moving forward. And then we are going to actually do something that I don't think we've done in this space before. We're going to actually have our subcommittee meetings in breakout rooms. While we do our breakout room subcommittee, it's an opportunity for us, like at the beginning of the year, even though it feels like we've already, for some of us, I think, have already lived a full year already. in the past couple of months, but it's an opportunity for us to reflect and also set priorities for the year ahead for each subcommittee, and what are some actions that each of the subcommittees would like to take in order to advance those particular priorities. As usual, for the monitoring data, David Soderman, Chief of Monitoring, will be in that space, both sharing what they plan on, getting the feedback on what they plan on sharing with the full group at the next meeting, but also hearing from you all in terms of further priorities there. In the implementation and funding subcommittee, we are going to have Kevin Bradley, who is now on the incentive side of things, who will be sharing an update, and also will be able to have some time in that space to chart our priorities as well. And then, excuse me, in the community outreach and education room, we'll have Lauren, who's been working with many of you already in charting out the priorities and actions for this year as well, that I know that that group has kind of a bit of a head start, which is great. At the end of those breakout rooms, we're going to convene back together in the large room so that each subcommittee could share with the full group what those priorities are and those actions are as well. So we'll have time towards the end of the meeting. And that's our meeting for today. And I'm just going to put in the chat box just for your review. But before we get started, I just want to check in with folks to see if that agenda, which I just put in the chat box, sounds good. And if there's anyone that'd like to approve both the agenda and the meeting notes from last time as well.
This is Maritza. I motion to approve the meeting notes and agenda.
Do we have a second?
I'll second. Josie Talamantes.
Thank you, Josie. All those in favor say aye.
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 Right. All those opposed say nay. All right, so that lets us go ahead and move forward to our first agenda item. Before I pull up the film, I just want to provide some time for Amaya to cue this up. And so I'm going to actually pass it over to Amaya.
Thank you, Shalom. Sorry, I took a big bite right before you queued it up for me. But yeah, I just thank you for introducing it at this meeting. I'm excited for you guys to see the Portside video. I know it's been a long time in the work with me in the CSC. I think I first presented to you guys about the video series last February or March, and we started filming last summer. So yeah, just thank you guys all for working with me from the inception, the planning phase of making the video to doing interviews throughout your community. I feel like I really learned so much about this CSC, and I hold this video very close to my heart, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So it'll definitely be something that we feature in our story maps, and I've spoken to some of the CSC members about using it as a recruiting tool, as a resource to learn about what your CSC has been working on in terms of emission reductions and just general priorities, accomplishments, and challenges. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I hope you guys like it, but I would love to hear your guys' feedback and any insight on where you think you'll be using the video. So yeah.
Thank you, Amaya. And my computer's being a bit slow today. I'm wondering if you'd be able to share your screen in the video.
Yeah, I think I should be able to. Let me
Okay.
know. I'm at a public library right now, so hopefully the Wi-Fi is pretty good.
And I'll also be posting the video link in the chat box for folks to be able to go back and review it and share with others as well. Amaya, would you be able to put the Spanish subtitles on that?
Yes, let me make sure that they're on. That's something that I forgot to say, is that the video doesn't have official translation yet. So that's something that I'm in the works with my team. but I will keep you guys posted on that. Oh no, I'm looking at it. I don't know if it has auto Spanish subtitles in the settings yet.
Are you looking at the YouTube link for it?
Yeah, I'm looking at the YouTube link for it. Does it show up for you?
Yeah, if I go to settings and then go down to where it says like CC subtitles, if you click on that and then you go to auto translate.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why for me I don't have the auto translate option. I'm only seeing the English auto generated.
Okay, let me see if maybe I could share my screen. Okay, just 1 second.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. Just want to make sure that it's as smooth as possible. Actually, if I may, Lauren, would you mind sharing the video on your end for folks? Mine is buffering quite a bit.
Yeah, I just need to pull up the link, or can you send it to me? It's in my email.
I will. I
Thank you.
apologize. Let me
Oh,
just
no,
put it
that's
in
fine.
the chat box. I believe this is the link here.
Okay. Okay, I am seeing options for auto translate into Spanish, but just be advised they may not be the best, so they're not the final, just so folks know that. And let me share.
All right.
I just want to, sorry, I just realized I needed to probably select share sound.
No worries. And as Lauren's actually getting that queued up, I forgot to share something in the general announcements. I have some good news. Our team has been working, I think, probably close to a year, if not a year, in securing facilitators, consultants for this CSC and also the International Border CSC. We are in that final process, and we hope to have them engage in a kickoff meeting sometime this week or probably next week. And so my hope is to introduce to you all those who will be supporting with facilitation in this space, and then also international border, hopefully at the next meeting in March. So that's some good news, and excited that we're able to get that moving forward as well. So with that, I'm going to actually turn it over to Lauren, and anytime you're ready.
Living in Logan Heights is amazing in the amount of culture that I get to live in. I just see my culture around everywhere. The amount of community that I feel when I'm here as well. Everyone is somehow family or a friend.
Me gusta esta comunidad porque inclusive se encuentran mercados donde puedo comprar productos mexicanos. Yo soy mexicana de nacimiento.
It's a vibrant cultural hub. Has amazing history and a history rooted in community coming together and resisting forces that were set to do them harm.
Unfortunately, living close to these polluted areas like paint shops and auto bodies, metal supplies, it's across the street. I mean, a block away from an elementary school. I think, in my opinion, it was a bad decision by authorities where the industrial zoning was right next to residential. Unfortunately, that has been going on for so many years that it has affected us. And I'm getting that trigger, like I said. After a few years in early 2000s, I was diagnosed with asthma.
One of the biggest things I pride myself, I think, in our community is our resilience and our strive to want to better our own neighborhood.
The Portside communities were selected for the Community Air Protection Program in 2019. One of the major reasons why the Portside communities is really because of an ongoing and present legacy of environmental injustices and harms.
Our main goal, our mission is to create better air quality and reduce, of course, the pollution that is surrounding us.
El rol del Comité Directivo es opinar y dar nuestro punto de vista, qué es lo que queremos para las comunidades.
The Community Steering Committee is a community-led group, but it also includes public agency staff, and it also includes industrial stakeholders as well.
To have a space where not only are we able to voice those concerns, but be on an equal level with other people and have our opinions valued is just, it's so empowering.
I see the collaboration with the CSC and having their input as a very insightful part of our planning process. We take their input and that makes our projects better.
The Port of San Diego is an active member on the Portside Community Steering Committee. The Port recently adopted a maritime clean air strategy, which is our ambitious plan to advance new technologies at the port and reduce emissions.
Doing things like electrifying the trucks that are coming into the port that drive down our community, having the equipment and cranes and devices that they use on the port be electrified.
Proyectos de desvío de camiones son importantes porque entre menos cerca se estén pasando los camiones de donde hay áreas residenciales o escuelas.
Many of the goals and objectives the community advocated for, we were able to build into the plan. The Port of San Diego is proud to partner with one of our tenants, Crowley Maritime, to bring the first all-electric tugboat in the United States here to San Diego Bay. This electric tugboat contains 6 megawatt hours of battery power on it and will reduce 30,000 gallons of diesel a year, which will radically improve air quality in the portside communities.
Hubo este programa del programa PEAR, ha ayudado a que muchos residentes han recibido filtros. Yo desde que me involucré en la coalición de salud ambiental y he estado ahorita en el comité de AB617, me he involucrado por mi familia, aprender y saber cómo prohibir que haya contaminación.
CBOs, these organizations are a very important part of educating our community. We did a lot of advocacy on our behalf in regards to the PEAR program. It has helped us here in National City in regards to the quality of air that we are receiving in our homes.
Hubo una ordenanza que se aprobó para que se le llamó la amortización y es para reubicar talleres dañinos en la comunidad y también prohibir que vuelvan a entrar talleres a nuestra comunidad. Tuvimos un logro, nosotros le llamamos una gran victoria. Hemos luchado mucho con la amortización de reubicar los talleres y sacamos a uno que estaba enfrente de la escuela Kimbo, que era muy dañino y era de taller mecánico.
But we know that not all the rules that we have on the book are covering what the community needs in terms of reducing air pollutants in their communities. So sometimes that might mean developing new rules or looking at older rules and updating them to ensure that the community is as best protected as much as possible to ensure clean air for all.
What I would like for my community to know is that you are the experts of all of this.
I have a lot of experience in advocating in outreach, but this was on a different level.
Pues yo me siento muy contenta porque veo que ya no nada más somos poquitos, ya más gente se está uniendo.
Us living here, we know everything that is required to make the positive changes. And I just urge you to just take that leap of faith and join or reach out and ask questions.
Although I was motivated, educated more, I also motivated others and inspired others. So I think it's a great gift in my opinion.
Thank you for sharing the video, Lauren. I'll hand it over to Amaya if there's anything that else you'd like to share about how CARB would like to use this film, but also turn it over to you and to call on folks if there's any feedback from folks as well.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I'm coming down with a little cold recently. Thank you, Shalem. I think for the video, we primarily wanted to make it for you guys. So that's why we spent a good amount of time meeting with CSC members and talking to them about what is most important for them to feature in the video, what kind of priorities you'd like to come across. So we definitely tried to do that with how we produced it. And we also tried to make sure it catered a bit towards being a recruitment tool, since I know that that's what some of the CSC members wanted to prioritize. So I think that this video is also just super valuable because a lot of people don't know about this program or don't know about the ways that you can get engaged in community air protection in the kinds of initiatives that are happening on a local scale. So being able to see and hear about these efforts directly from the community members that have dealt with it historically, but also are in the process of doing things about these injustices, it's really powerful. So I hope it's helpful for you guys. I know that it's helpful for me and my team at CARB to be able to hear directly from you guys. So we'll be featuring it on, I think, our different websites across the board. We'll be featuring it in your community story map that I spoke about last week, or not last week, at the last meeting that I was at here. So yeah, we'll be sharing it around, I think, but we're also interested in how you guys would like to share it or if you have any feedback. So I'm all ears. But yeah, just want to say thank you to everybody that helped me with this. It was a big team effort.
Yeah, I'd love to hear folks' first impressions. Anyone like to share? Several people here today were in the film, such as Phil, Maritza, Montserrat, Silvia as well. So yeah, and for anyone in the film, yeah, if there's any feedback, yeah, Montserrat.
Sí, fue muy bueno compartir nuestra perspectiva y el trabajo que estamos haciendo en este comité y pues muy agradecidas porque nos eligieron de alguna manera para compartir eso a las personas que estamos representando también a la comunidad y otras agencias, obviamente, pero sí fue muy bueno y pues me gusta ver ahí a mis compañeras.
Thank you, Montserrat. Phil.
Yeah, thanks. The lighting is bad in my place right now. That's a little bit better. Thank you, Amaya, for putting that together. It seems like so long ago that we did that. But it looks great. I'm glad to hear the different perspectives of the steering committee members, and all the visuals were really excellent to see. I always have this feeling, and I guess we're biased, that our steering committee is the best steering committee when it comes to the Clean Air Protection Program. I haven't been to any of the other ones, so I can't say that for fact, but I just feel like there's something special about ours. So hopefully that's conveyed in the video. And then a quick question, are we the only steering committee that gets a video, or are you making these for everyone?
We're trying to make at least one video for each of the air districts that have selected communities in our program. So we already have a video for Calexico, El Centro, Heber, which is for Imperial Valley. And then we're also working on currently a video for Stockton in the San Joaquin Valley. So we're trying to just get a couple of community videos out for each of the air districts that we're engaged in.
Well, great. Well, hopefully this is a good example for all of those. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. I appreciate your work on this too. It's nice to see all the different perspectives from the different agencies and how it all comes together in the end.
Yeah. I just a thought came to mind before I go to Maritza and then Kevin is one thing would be really cool as those videos are completed, and I think the Imperial County one is completed, is we could do like little screenings here so that we can see what other folks are working on as well, and get some inspiration there. Maritza and then Kevin.
Hi, thank you, Shalom. Well, first off, Amaya, again, thank you so much for all the hard work you and your team did. It was a really great experience throughout. It wasn't just the filming that day, but it was meetings beforehand and interviews and talking it through on like what we wanted to use and see. And it was really thought out, and I really appreciate the process. It was a lot of fun and it came out amazing. So thank you so much.
Hey, I'll be quick here. I just want to say it was kind of like watching a professional documentary there. So great job, Maya and your team. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And Shalom, I really like your idea of checking out other CSE videos that can kind of generate more brainstorming around different ideas for projects and different things to prioritize. So I think that's a great idea too. Great job, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Alicia.
Bueno, pues yo quiero darle las gracias también por habernos elegido aquí de National City. Yo no me siento profesional para hablar, pero di un poco de puntos en lo que corresponde para mi familia y para mi comunidad respecto a todos los talleres dañinos que tenemos aquí en National City. Y esto pues es algo que nos puede ayudar para otras comunidades, y también nos gustaría también conocer las diferentes problemas también que tengan las diferentes comunidades para aprender de ellos. Les doy las gracias por el trabajo que hicieron.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amaya. And yeah, please do let us know when the other films are available, and happy to take some time at the beginning of these monthly meetings to show a little feature film here with this group. And also would love to do so at the international border as well, who are just kind of starting their SERP journey to get some inspiration from folks. So Amaya, any last words from you or anyone on your team?
Just thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's nice to hear all the feedback and to hear from you, Alicia, that you felt respected through the process and that you felt that, we were really taking into account what you wanted to see come through in the videos. Sorry, there's a fly around me that I'm trying to get rid of. But that's nice to hear because that's exactly what we wanted to do. So, and like Maritza said, it wasn't just the video, we went through a good amount of pre-meetings, interviews, really talking about how we wanted the video to come to shine when it was finally produced. So I'm just really happy to hear that you guys are liking it. So, and I do agree, it's nice to see the other community videos, because looking at Imperial's video compared to San Diego's, they are very different in terms of what kind of strategies are useful and impactful to the community members. So, being in San Diego, you have the port, you have the industries, but being in Imperial Valley, you have, the dust, the unpaved roads that are causing different problems. So it really gives you a good perspective on how things are so different because they're based on a local scale. So I think that's a good idea, Shalem.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Amaya. And yeah, they did an amazing job on this. And I know that there was a lot of folks that were working also behind the scenes with Amaya in doing this. So just so much appreciation and all. Amaya, quick question. So is this link the final link, or are there more edits that will be made to the film?
This should be the final link, but my team, sometimes they're randomly like, hey, we found this little tiny thing that we want to change. So let me just double check first thing tomorrow and I'll send you a confirmation. But this should be the last link.
Awesome. Thank you, Amaya.
Mhm.
So with that, we're actually going to start our process for the breakout groups. I know that Kevin has a short presentation, and so does David, to kind of prime the conversation. But what I'm going to put in the chat box here, just give me a moment, is a slide deck to use as a tool in our breakout sessions. And let me share my screen here in just a moment. A very, very simple slide deck that you should be able to have access to by just clicking on that link. Can you all see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So each subcommittee has its own slide where they're able to add their priorities and the actions for the year ahead for that particular subcommittee. Again, David's going to be providing, as he typically does part of these breakouts, kind of a review of what's going to be discussed next time. But if there's other priorities that emerge from that discussion as well, feel free to jot that down as a team in the corresponding boxes, okay? And then the breakout teams will have about 30 minutes to go over those presentations, but also provide feedback and then fill out this slide. My hope is that every subcommittee designates one person to share out the slide to the entire group so that the entire group is well informed about what each subcommittee is prioritizing for the year, but could also provide some feedback as well. So before I, excuse me, send you all to breakout rooms, and you'll get to self-select the breakout room, I just want to see if anyone has any questions. Are there any questions? Okay. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open up the breakout rooms. One second. And I'm going to open all the rooms, and you should be able to see a prompt that says which room you'd like to select. If you are having trouble selecting a room, just put in the chat box what room you'd like to go to, and I can support in assigning you to a room. So go ahead and select a room, and someone in our team will be there to meet you. And as Lauren said, scroll down to see the rooms.
I don't see them. Scroll down where?
There should be a thing, a sign that says pop-up or a breakout room in progress, but you know what I can do, David? I'll just go ahead and assign you to a room. That'll be
Okay.
easy. There you go.
Okay. It looks like it's in under more. I just saw it. It says
Oh,
join
okay.
breakout room. So
Okay.
I think that's where everybody needs to click.
All right. So let's see. Bradley says join the monitoring. So let me go ahead and put you in there, Bradley. One second. Vanessa, I do see your room, your note. I can help assign you to a room. There's 3 rooms. One is community outreach and engagement, or I'm sorry, outreach and education. The second room is monitoring. The third is, what are my rooms? Implementation and funding subcommittee. So just let me know.
Either community or monitoring.
Could I, let's see. Can I put you, well, which one would you prefer? You can join anyone you'd like. They look like they're pretty even right now.
Monitoring.
All right, I'll put you in that one, Vanessa. Give me one moment. I'm going to go ahead and also put our interpreter in community education. Alicia, ¿quieres educación con la comunidad? Okay. Jose,
Sí, ya
Sí.
me salió los 3 puntitos, interpretación. Me sale el del 5. Oh.
Okay.
En el que dice,
Sí le escucho.
Alicia, ¿me
¿En
escucha?
cuál me pongo? ¿En el 9?
Dice, en el que dice Join Breakout Room, si le da clic a los 3 puntitos, luego debe de salir un menú y ahí en la lista hay una etiqueta que dice, I think she joined already.
I think she figured it
okay.
out. All right, so
I
I'm
haven't figured it
gonna.
out. I'm sorry, John.
Yeah, no worries. What room do you want to go in?
I usually I'm at the data one.
Okay.
Monitor.
Let me go ahead and put you in that one. Keith. I think you're usually in monitoring as well. But let's see. Keith, would you like to go into monitoring?
I had asked for implementation and funding, but either is fine.
All right, let me go ahead and take you to implementation and funding.
I only asked for that because in my role at the city, I do grants. So we see a lot
Absolutely.
of, yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. Yep, no worries. Margarita usually goes to community education. Nick, let's see, monitoring. Okay, let me get you. Yes, Lourdes, can you please join the education? There you go. Okay. And Keith, you should have gotten a notice for implementation and funding. Okay.
There you go.
Awesome. Let me just pause the. This is an experiment. Hold on. Let me stop recording. Cancel. Welcome back. We'll give folks a few more minutes to come on in.
So you mean only 4 of us have survived this effort to the trip back to the room?
Yeah, all your particles came back together.
Yes,
exactly.
Just like that little kid on Willy Wonka.
Right, yeah.
There we go.
Right. Welcome back, everyone. As you re-enter the room, make sure to go on the interpretation channel of your choice, because I think it resets. So you'll definitely want to do that.
So Shalem, could we have just, we were all sitting wondering if when we completed our discussion, if we could come back to where you were, could we have done that by selecting that leave the room icon down in the lower right-hand corner?
Exactly. You could have come back to the main room, and then you could have then journeyed to a different room as well if you'd like.
Oh.
As well. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome back, everyone. Saw a lot of great items put up on the slide deck, and I'll share that in just a minute. As I was sharing, make sure to select your interpretation channel of choice. I think you have to reset that when you re-enter this room. Make sure to take a moment to do that. As you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for everyone.
Todavía no tenemos interpretación para el español.
Oh, okay. Un momento.
Sí.
Sí, ya la escucho.
Okay. Okay. Do you hear the interpreters now, Monse?
Yeah.
Sí? Okay, está bien. Okay, let me just share my screen here. All right, I hope each group selected a spokesperson. Let's see here. Can you all see my screen okay? I should show the slide deck. All right. So for breakout group 1 was the implementation and funding subcommittee. Anyone who's not APCD staff, be willing to share out not only what your priorities and actions are, but just also like a summary of the conversation you all were having in the room.
Well, we didn't select a spokesperson. We all anointed Kevin to do it, but if it can't be Kevin, then perhaps it can be. I could just speak to a little bit. But we had a good discussion about implementation and funding. Kevin told us about the money that is available for the different programs that APCD administers. Later, about mid last year, actually, the implementation funding committee had identified a few priorities, about 6 priorities. So we kind of talked about how to whittle those down a little bit. One of the things we talked about in bullet 1 there is to do better outreach on the funding that's available to the community. We feel that sometimes a lot of people don't know about the funding, and so we want to make sure that the community that could benefit from this stuff is aware of the funding as well as implementation of projects too, so that people can see how those things have been completed. We definitely want to keep momentum and moving on zero emission vehicle transportation projects and thinking about ways that we can get that money out the door and into people's hands. It's worked in many cases. But then in others, especially when it comes to like truck drivers that visit our port, they haven't really taken that money up yet. So we're trying to strategize on ways that we can, again, better communicate and better advance that program so that people can leverage that funding. And then we talked about there could be opportunity with an HVAC investment project in the community at one of the libraries that the city owns. And for that project specifically, but actually all of them, we talked about the ability to leverage a variety of funding pots, not only the funding that APCD administers, but funding from the port through our Maritime Industrial Impact Fund, funding from SDG&E through the Power You Drive for Fleets program, other state buckets, because a lot of times these projects can be funded by multiple sources. Again, there's like kind of a lack of understanding of how to do that. And so we're going to try to do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Phil. Next, we're going to go to, and then at the end, folks will be able to provide feedback and share questions. So I just want to make sure we go through kind of each item here. Next, we'll go to monitoring data. Anyone who's not APCD staff, if we have a volunteer. Anyone? Let's see who was in that group. I might call on some folks. Jose, you were in that group, right? Or were you in the implementation and funding? No? What about Massey? Massey here tonight? Maybe not.
She had to leave early.
Oh, does she have to leave early?
Yeah,
Okay.
but she wasn't there. She would have been a good one to call on.
All right. Jack.
I knew that would happen.
I tried to like give other people an opportunity.
Hey, Sean, yeah, you worked on
Yeah.
some others first. Thank you. I appreciate that. So this is a very interesting review tonight to see where David and his team are going with the data from the sampling stations. So the ultimate challenge is, what are we finding? What does it mean? And how do we communicate from, and what conclusions can we draw from the slide that the community would benefit from? So we looked at, again, the sampling station locations, where those were. We looked at the readings from those stations, both throughout the year, time of day, to see what the variables were when emissions were increasing or when they were the lowest. Tried to draw some conclusions about what that would really mean then when you see emissions going down from noon to 6 p.m. Is that a healthy time? Is that a time of day where people can feel that they are least at risk when they are outside? And what time of day should they feel, or at least know that they're most at risk, then when they can close their doors and windows? Trying to, again, tie actions to the actual finding. A couple of unexplained phenomena from this is, why were the emissions increasing on Friday and Saturday, particularly when people aren't driving as much as people are on a weekday, all the other weekdays? Why they should go up on Saturday? Don't know that we have found a reason for that. And that would kind of be helpful to know, to really, again, draw some conclusions that could be of benefit to the community. So I think that I hope that's the most everything. The idea hopefully is that we'll be able to share some conclusions of benefit to the community from the data that's now been collected over the past year. We have a whole year's worth of readings to take a look at and see where things are. So, did I miss anything, David?
No, I think that was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Let's go to the last group here, community education and outreach. Any volunteers from any folks, anybody that was in that group?
Yes, Shalem, this is Sylvia. I guess I was nominated today.
Good.
To make it really quick, so from my understanding, there was just an update in regards to the title of this subcommittee to recruitment education. Our priorities is to definitely, like I mentioned, recruit new members from our communities, educate them, and also provide like membership management. In regards to the recruitment, of course, it's simple. We just want to increase our members from our communities. We currently have 10 community members, and our goal is to add 5 more at least within the period of 1 year, of course. And hopefully we could do that. Second, of course, educate these new members and current members, providing and sharing information, updates in regards to air quality monitoring, and the improvements of such quality. And also, one big focus, and I think it's a very powerful word, is having resilience. And to do that is to maintain our current members as educated and empowering as possible. And then hopefully we will share that same emphasis to our new members. As many of us know, we also need a lot of motivation, a lot of education to maintain this level of passion that we have, whether if it's also in the business sector or especially in our case, more community members being active in this mission that we have, sharing. Yes, I think that's basically most of the things that we're focused on right now, just in a short term. As mentioned, we had to update the list of memberships. Some of them left, some of them will be coming in soon. And we are focused to providing orientation, hopefully by the midsummer, July or August. So we could provide an update as soon as we get one. Yeah, I think that's it at this moment.
Thank you so much. Everyone did such a wonderful job summarizing these points. I'm going to go ahead and take it off the share screen so I can see all of you here. Just want to provide a moment to see if anyone has any questions or comments, reflections of what's been shared. Questions, comments? I know it's been a long day. Yeah. I think I heard someone come off mute. Was it Montserrat? No?
No.
Also, I do want to send out a little bit of a kind of, maybe it's not something as formal as a survey, but also to check in with folks to see the amount of frequency that each subcommittee meets a slightly different frequency. For example, the implementation and funding subcommittee has been meeting on a monthly basis, but they might want to reevaluate that cadence, right? Maybe it makes more sense to meet on a, every other month basis or just quarterly. I know the data committee's been only meeting on a quarterly basis, but maybe they want to reevaluate that. So I do want to do a check-in with folks to kind of, and not here tonight, it's already late, but maybe send out some kind of survey of some sort just to kind of gauge what folks' kind of preferences are around the cadence of meeting. And also, I think these priorities are very well articulated. Some are kind of reaffirming some existing priorities, kind of what I'm seeing in monitoring, the items that are being monitored. Maybe the type of information that's being shared is a little bit different and nuanced. But I'm seeing some affirmations of kind of previous priorities as well. So our team will be working on something to send out to folks just to kind of get a little bit more information in terms of how you'd like to see the subcommittees move forward. In that kind of like questionnaire, are there particular questions that would be good to ask of each person in the different subcommittees that we could include in that? All right. So if you think of anything, please do reach out. This is not going to be going out tomorrow, but hopefully before the next meeting so that we have a little bit more of a framework of how the subcommittees are kind of evolving as they move forward. So with that, I just want to see if there's any announcements before we call for a motion to adjourn.
Shalem, I just wanted to, I think you said in your email to everybody that this will be your last meeting. Is that the case?
Yeah, more to follow on
Okay.
all of that, but yeah, I'll be sending out some information shortly on all of that. But yeah, thank you, Phil, for uplifting that.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for, facilitating this group, and I've really enjoyed your stewardship in this space for, since you've been here. I remember when you first came on and you reached out to everybody individually, and I thought that was a great approach. So thank you for all that you've done.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on what Phil said. I think I really appreciate you, Shalem, and for helping to make this space as inclusive as possible. And you've done an incredible job in your tenure at APCD. So thank you.
Thanks, Nicholas. Really appreciate it.
Completely agree with all of that. Thank you, Shalem, for strengthening the connection between APCD and the communities that we serve. It's made my job a lot easier, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you all. And really, really enjoy working with you all. More to come on all of that. And I'll be in touch with all of you. On that note, any motion to adjourn?
So moved, in your honor.
Thanks.
This is Maritza. I motion to adjourn.
Awesome. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. And we'll certainly be in touch. All right. Take care.
Thanks, Shalem.
All right, thanks.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.